I had half of a 2x6 remaining from a project, and knowing myself, it's going to get used to make something. I started by cutting it into 4 sections, to glue them all together and make a bigger block of wood. Since I own a joiner, I'm using it to run each face and make sure it's extremely flat. 2x6s from the store are usually flat enough to glue up without issues, but this will give me a tighter, cleaner, invisible seam. Make sure all the surfaces have plenty of glue. You don't know how thin the area will end up being. It could be a wall of a drawer or a small part. Make sure there's glue everywhere. On this step, there's no wrong or right. Design and trace the outside shape of your box. Cut the shape out on your bandsaw. The more precise you are here, the less shaping and sanding you'll need to do later. Trace out the shape of your drawer on the remaining piece. Make sure to leave enough of a wall to get a nice solid box. Before cutting out the drawer, cut off the back of the box. This will be glued back up once the inside of the drawer is carved. Make sure to not discard this offcut. Take your time when cutting out the drawer and enter from the side, in the grain. This will make the seam much easier to glue up and hide than if you enter against the grain from the top of the box. Make sure you corner slowly and properly. Any defects will be easy to see once done. To save some clamps and time later, I glue back up the box now. Add glue in the seam, then glue the back panel on, and clamp everything in place to dry while you work on the rest of the stuff. Take the inside of the drawer you cut out, then, like earlier, cut the back off, but this time cut the front off too. Those will be added to the drawer after we carve the inside out. Design and trace how you want the inside of the drawer to be. I'm making it 2 sections with a middle split. Trace, then cut it on the bandsaw. You see those two offcuts from the inside of the jar? Well, they're not offcuts. They're two additional boxes that I'm making today. Nothing goes to waste. Those offcuts can be two custom orders on the marketplace. Here's a Hello Kitty one I did from a similar sized piece of wood. This can be sold for a lot of money, even more so when it's a custom client order. Today, to keep it simple, I'll make two hand-drawn boxes in a similar style to my main one. Something I've not done in the main box earlier is cut legs out on the main body shape. There's no limit on what you can do here. All the steps are the same as earlier. Make sure to keep track of what piece goes where. You can write it on them and send it off later if If you're not feeling safe with the cut, you can always push it with a piece of wood like this. Don't lose a finger to make some money making boxes. It's easy to make smaller and smaller boxes from the offcuts. I made a very small one for fun. It's pretty ugly, but it's functional. Now that we're at the same step as the first box, let's sync the projects back up and finalize them together. I start by sanding the insides of the drawer, so that I can glue them back together and sand the main bodies while those dry. I don't let the stuff dry for very long before removing clamps and sanding. About 20 minutes is enough. You'll never have enough clamps when doing multiple boxes at once. Just buy more clamps. You always run out of clamps, even if you do. Most of the time is spent sanding the outside of the main box. Make sure all the corners are nice, inside and outside. And finish it with a sanding block. This is the final product. How well you can sand the outside of the box and the front face of the jar. I finished it with a supposed walnut colored tint and finish that I just bought. I expected it to be darker. I don't hate the color, but I definitely expected darker from a walnut colored product. I'm making knobs from the leftover scraps from earlier. You can buy some, turn some, make some nicer ones, carve some out of the main jar. There is no limit on what you can do here. Those boxes are for me, for my shop. I want big bulky knobs that I can grab with two fingers easy. For a nice contrast, I'm painting them black. I'm going to finish them with a gloss finish to match the body of the boxes. To add the knobs, you can use super glue, wood glue, or the best solution, pre-drill and screw them in. I plan to use those boxes for single rotor and drill bits in my shop, so it needs to be sturdy. That's it for those boxes. To make some money selling them, I suggest you make a few different style boxes to show what you can do on the market. Don't be scared to go for children characters or different rustic styles. Once you do those, you'll end up getting decent orders if that's what you're offering. I've sold 2 more of the Hello Kitty ones at $40 each. It took me about an hour to make 3 more of those. When I'm not planning and setting up camera angles, making those boxes is extremely fast. Thanks for watching. Enjoy making your own boxes and see you next time.